Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalam ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa ashabihi wa man wala, amma ba'du. Then we are continuing with Form 9, Sahih Salim, which you can fill in down here, in the meaning of the jither, which is Zay, Ra, Qaf, and Form 9 is to become blue. How do we make this form? We put our three letters. Before that, we put an alif with a kasra. Not a hamza, just an alif with a kasra. Sukoon on the first root letter. A fatha on the second. And a shadda with a fatha on the third. Izraqqa. You want to make it dual? Just add the alif name. Izraqqa. Then Izraqu. Izraqat. Izraqata. And here, when we come to the feminine, if we remember, we have to separate that third root letter. So we say, before, up until now, we've had ra's to separate. And ihmarra, ihmarirna, or ihmararna, right? Ihmararna here. And then when it came to the second letter, second word we did, akhdarra, akhdararna, isfarra, asfararra. Here we have qafs to separate. So we're going to say izraqaqna, izraqaqna. Because we have to have a sukoon before that noon and niswa. Izraqaqna. Again, these don't happen very often, and they're probably not going to happen too often in all the different forms. So I say that, but at the same time, I don't want anyone to become lazy and let's not learn it properly. Let's learn it properly, right? Then we have Izraqaqta. They're all separated from here on out, if you remember. Izraqaqta. Izraqaqta. Izraqaqtuma. Izraqaqtuma. Izraqaqtum. Izraqaqtum. Izraqaqti. Talking to a female or something feminine, saying you became. That's a qaf there, it's just tiny. Izraqaqti. Izraqaqtuma. And Izraqaqtunna. Izraqaqtu. I became blue. is raqaqna. And then these are the same, is raqaqna. That's your past tense. When it comes to the present tense, we're going to get rid of our alif. Right? We're going to get rid of our alif. And we're going to add our present tense letter, whether there be a ya, a ta, an alif, or a noon. And just like it was, yahmarru, yakhdarru, and yasfarru, it's going to be yazraqu. 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 Yazraqani. Yazraqani. You two are them two male things. Yazraqani are becoming blue. Yazraquna. 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 Right? Then we have tazraqu. Tazraqu. Tazraqani. It's hard for me to write a shadda today on the screen. Yazraqani. And then here again we're going to separate between the qafs. Yazraqiqna. Yazraqiqna. And here's where the kasra came in. Qiqna. Then tazraqu. Tazraqu. Tazraqani. Tazraquna. Right? Tazraqina. Tazraqani. And then tazraqiqna. Again, we separated because of the noon and niswa. Tazraqiqna. Azraqu. Right? Nazraqu. And at this point, they're all marfu with a dhamma or the presence of the noon. Right? Nazraqu, the same as there. If they become mansub, then they become mansub with fathas. Right? Or the dropping of the noon. Right? Or we can separate. So we can say, right? One second. No. We can say yazraqqa. That doesn't change, right? Those don't change. Basically, here it's not going to change. When it becomes majzoom, that's when we can change it. Here, we will. Here, when it's majzoom, it can be majzoom with a fatha and the dropping of the noon, right? The same way. It'll look the same basically as it does when it's mansoob. Or we can separate. So we say yazraqiq. Yazraqiq. Right? Then we can say for hiya tazraqiq. Put a kasra on the first qaf and a sukoon on the second. Then the same thing, tazraqiq. Right? Then nazraqiq. Right? Nazraqiq. Or azraqiq, asif. Azraqiq. Where we put a sukoon on the first qaf, and a kasra on the first qaf, and then nazraqiq. It could be this way or that way when it comes to being majzoom. Right? It could be majzoom with a fatha, or it could be majzoom by separating them and putting a kasra on the first one and a sukoon on the second. And again, something for us to practice, but we don't have to run into it that often. So if it's a little complicated, inshallah, no problem, we'll get it. Even me, you can see me, I stutter with it. I say even me, I stutter with it as well. I'm nobody. So we had yaz, or taz rather, taz raqqa. We had taz raqqu rather, and it became tazraqqa or tazraqiq, right? Tazraqiq. It was this way or that way. So what do we do? I'm just going to do it here. We're going to get rid of our present tense letter, which is the ta here. And we'll say, put an alif there. So we'll say izraqqa or izraqiq. Izraqqa or izraqiq. And then we have izraqqa, izraqqa, izraqu. Right, izraqi. And then izraqqa, same thing as above. And then izraqiqna. Here they have to be separated before the noon and niswa. Noon and niswa. Izraqiqna. When it comes to your fa'il, then muzraqqun, the thing that is becoming blue, muzraqqun, muzraqqun. There is no maf'ul, and the process or the act of becoming blue is riqaqun. Is riqaqun. Coin. Hopefully it's getting better. Inshallah ta'ala, tomorrow we'll come with some more examples. Bidnillah ta'ala. Hopefully it's getting clearer. And if not, like we said, this verb is not used as much as the others. In fact, it's hard to even find verbs in this form to use as examples. But alhamdulillah, we need to know it. We don't need to belittle anything that we're trying to learn. Rather, we want to learn it properly. So we'll keep doing it until we get it. Bidnillah. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.